Breaking news, there was an active shooter at a synagogue in Detroit, Michigan earlier today at 12:30 p.m. He purposely ran his vehicle into a synagogue, which caused the car to explode and the building itself to catch fire. He got out with a rifle and just started shooting.
Fox News alert, sources telling Fox News the truck that the suspect used to ram a Michigan synagogue is registered to a naturalized U.S. citizen, this time from Lebanon, who lives in Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn has been in the headlines as a very, very predominantly Muslim community with a Muslim community leader.
The leader has definitely come out and said anti-Israel things. He's tweeting anti-Israel comments quite often, but that is not reflective of the entire community. I want to make that clear. We have some great politically conservative Muslim friends there that certainly would never condone this kind of behavior.
Well, it's finally here. The squiggly letter people, their rage and anger over the death of their supreme leader is spilling over into the United States, where a suspected terrorist rammed his car into the entrance of a Temple Israel in Detroit, Michigan. He not only rammed his car into the entrance, he began driving down one of the hallways, but was stopped through the heroic actions of Temple Israel private security, who engaged with the suspected terrorist and deleted him before he was able to execute his suspected terrorist plot. No one was harmed during this exchange except for one security guard who was hit by the suspect's car as he drove down the hallway after crashing into the building, but he is alive. There were children there. This Temple Israel also serves as an early childhood development center, but they are all totally safe and were moved to another location. There's going to be a huge conversation and debate about this situation. It's definitely going to impact American sentiment concerning the conflict in Iran right now. People are going to be asking, is it really worth it? Is the price too high to pay for what many people believe is simply just a war that the United States is fighting on behalf of Israel? In my opinion, it's the price you pay. There's a price to be paid for everything. Freedom and peace come at a price. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of this country, once said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety." Liberty and safety come at a cost. And sometimes that cost is security. Are you able to secure yourself? Yes, you are. But understand that security is not something that can be guaranteed, and it is not something that can be promised. All you can do is do everything in your power to keep yourself from becoming a victim. And if you look at this situation, that's exactly what the Israelis did at the Temple Israel. They have their own private armed security. And this is going to make black folks mad, because when we had our situation with Dylan Roof, our people just got slaughtered like a bunch of sitting ducks. Why? Because they didn't prepare for the unforeseen. They didn't harden their church against potential threats. But that's what I have to admire about the Israeli people. They understand, and I truly believe they want peace, but they understand that we're living in a world where people are radicalized and fanatical. And a lot of people have a lot of issues with them for whatever reason, and they prepare. Those who fail to prepare to fail. This situation is very alarming. It's going to have a lot of people picking sides, have a lot of people going at each other. People are going to be saying, oh, we need to get out of Iran. We need to, Trump should have never went in. etc. But my question is this: why would you just allow a lingering threat to exist? Why would you want to live in a world where there are people who are willing to do these types of crazy things when they don't get their way? Iran slaughtered 35,000 of their own people for protesting against their economy. If they're willing to do that to their own citizens, you don't believe that they're willing to sponsor a terrorist to blow up a church or a synagogue or whatever else if the situation permits it, or if they just decide they don't want you around anymore? I love the fact that Donald Trump is not being like other presidents, trying to kick this Iran situation down the road like it can. He's actually addressing it head on, and he's letting Iran know that we're not just going to lay down as you amass a stockpile of weapons and potentially nuclear weapons to strengthen your position against the United States government and what I believe is its proxy, Israel. Come to the negotiating table. They say they want to follow international law. That's what Iran said. They said they want to follow international law. Well, Iran, if that's the case, international law since 2021 has banned the development of nuclear weapons programs. But the people, well, the government regime says that it is their right to develop nuclear weapons. I don't believe that's true. I especially don't believe it's true when this country is known around the world to be the #1 sponsor of terrorism on the planet. There's a lot of things we could go into. This video would run forever, but I really want to focus on the situation at Temple Israel in Detroit. It's actually crazy that someone would go as far as to try to hurt children, all because they don't like what's happening in Iran. Now, we don't have the motives yet. But, I don't think it's very hard to come to certain conclusions based on the political climate. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll make another video saying I was wrong, but I believe that this situation is pretty obvious what's going on here. To be in denial is to make yourself an easy target. But what are Americans going to do? Are we going to use this as an opportunity to come together to condemn radical Islam? Or are we going to use this as an opportunity to continue fighting and being at each other's throats over things that, if they go left or they go bad, will have a negative effect or impact on us all? That's my question to you. Beyond that, I think every place of worship needs to implement security, and if you have the means, armed security, because we don't know what the fallout from this Iran situation is going to be. They're clearly outnumbered. They're clearly outgunned. More of the people in the region are turning against Iran, and they're quickly, collapsing. The regime is quickly collapsing. What we do know is that usually countries like Iran have a lot of proxies. They have a lot of terrorist cells that fall under their command, and they're willing to use them to hurt America in some way. No one died in this situation except the person who was seeking to commit an unthinkable act against young children, and that's the way it should be. But that's only because the security of Temple Israel stayed vigilant. They engaged with the suspect. In many ways, if you ask me, the Temple Israel security is better than the police departments around the country, who don't even want to engage with violent criminals. They rather let the criminal commit the violence, then later on go back around and maybe pick up the criminal. But a lot of times they don't even do that, or at least they don't want to. We have a lot to unpack and a lot to discuss as a country, but it is a discussion that can only be had by Americans, the people who inhabit this great nation. Stop letting the sensationalists get to you. Stop allowing the fear mongers to make you deathly afraid. Do your research. You have an unprecedented access to new information by way of the internet and these little computers that we call cell phones. Use them. Use them to form your opinion. Do not go by what someone on social media is telling you. Do your own research in an unbiased way, openly, honestly, and transparently. Don't just look for things that confirm what you want to believe or what the person on the internet said. Look at everything objectively, and you will find the conclusion that is best for you. But let me know what you think in the comments about this situation. Do you think that this is a perfect example for why the United States needs to get the hell out of Iran? Do you believe that the United States is operating on behalf of Israel and it's really not our issue? Or do you believe that the people at Temple Israel did what they had to do to survive and therefore are justified in the elimination of the suspected terrorist, and that the United States and Israel should continue to put pressure on Iran to dismantle their nuclear program? Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for me in this channel. Till the next time, peace.